Hi, Jessica Deere here to explain my infographic on contaminants of emerging concern in our environment. Where do we go from here? Contaminants of emerging concern, or CECs, are chemicals often defined as those previously unknown, unrecognized, or unregulated, and include chemicals such as human and veterinary pharmaceuticals, personal care products, and hormones. CECs are increasingly detected in aquatic ecosystems, including those utilized by the Grand Portage Band of Lake Superior Chippewa for subsistence in northeastern Minnesota. Across 3 years, 117 out of 158 CECs were detected in water, sediment, or fish in 28 sites of varying anthropogenic pressures, developed, undeveloped, or wastewater effluent impacted. Once we knew there is such a presence of contaminants of emerging concern in these important ecosystems, we began asking, how can we prioritize CECs for further research on their biological effects, sources, and remediation? So we used a chemical prioritization process adapted from a framework developed by Minnesota Pollution Control Agency called Aquatic Toxicity Profiles. Here, we asked 5 questions based on chemical-specific information, including toxicity, endocrine activity, physicochemical properties, and occurrence data. These questions help us evaluate the potential for contaminants that are detected in the environment to cause adverse effects on aquatic life. The first question, is the chemical persistent in the environment, uses half-life thresholds of each chemical to allow us to know if the chemical is likely to rapidly biodegrade or if it is persistent in the environment. For the question, does the chemical have the potential to accumulate in biota or sediment, we used coefficients that provide information on how the chemical will partition or divide between fats and biota, such as fish, and water, or the ability of the chemical to adhere to sediment. If the coefficients for a chemical exceed certain thresholds, then the chemical is considered to have the potential to accumulate in biota or sediment. The third question, is the chemical potentially toxic, includes potential toxicity because measured aquatic toxicity data for many of the contaminants we detected, and most CECs in general, is limited. So we utilized modeled toxicity values available from the Environmental Protection Agency. If the chemical was considered very toxic or toxic based on their model toxicity concentrations, the chemical was considered potentially toxic. Another question we asked to understand the potential effect these chemicals may have was, is there evidence of potential endocrine disruption? We utilized the EPA's Endocrine Disruptor Screening Program, which assesses chemicals for endocrine-related activity that could induce an adverse health outcome. Any evidence of activity in the assays provided through the program was considered evidence of potential for endocrine disruption. Lastly, is the chemical detected in more than 20% of samples uses data from our study. Since we sampled 28 sites for this study, an answer of yes means that the chemical was detected in at least 6 sites. Once we compiled all of these data for the 117 detected chemicals, we were able to rank the CECs based on their chemical hazards. Each yes answer received a score of 1. Scores were then summed, and a total of 5 indicated a high priority contaminant. You can see the 11 highest priority CECs we detected in the study and their associated primary use category. High priority contaminants include multiple antimicrobials and hormones. They also include an antidepressant, a cardiovascular modulating agent called gemfibrozil that is used as a cholesterol medication, insect repellent, an anti-epileptic, the disinfectant triclocarban, which has actually been banned from over-the-counter use since 2016, and an antihistamine. The presence of high-priority CECs, especially in a region that is important for sustaining indigenous culture through subsistence fishing, warrants further focus in research and remediation as we strive to reduce the anthropogenic impacts of contaminants in our environment. I will end by saying that this project would not have been possible without the Environment and Natural Resources Trust Fund through LCCMR, our collaborators at Minnesota Pollution Control Agency and the EPA, and most importantly, our partnership with the Grand Portage Band of Lake Superior Chippewa. Thank you.